We're just going to make it up. Hello, this is Echo Chernik, and you are listening to The Professional Artist live on 107.7 United Public Radio, and also on YouTube at youtube.com/Echo Chernik. And I am currently at RadCon in Pasco, Washington, which is one of my favorite conventions ever. And I am here with an awesome artist named Jamie Walton, who I've just ran into, and who I've known for a couple of years now. Mm-hmm. So, hi, Jamie.
Hi.
Hopefully, you guys will hear us okay. It's we've got a little bit of background noise because we're at a convention. Mm-hmm. So, I have to tell you a little bit about RadCon. This is, I think, one of my favorite conventions.
It really is. It's a nice big convention, but you still have the hometown feel, so it's not super big and overwhelming and stuff like that. But you still get to have that like big sci-fi fun and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't even know how many people we get here. It's not huge. It's pretty small. It's
a fairly small convention, but it's not like small by any means.
Well, I was the guest of honor here, I think, in 2017, and they brought me out here, and I wasn't sure what to expect, and I was just they treated me really well, and the people were just so nice and so friendly, and it was like coming over to like family. Everybody was just like.
It is like a big family.
It's like a big family, and what I like about it is that when you're sitting there at the table, people are bringing all their animals by. They're like, like people walk in with an iguana, and then a snake, and then a hairless cat, and then a dog that's dyed like bright pink. And
that's my favorite thing because most of my art's about animals anyway. So I'm just like, bring me all of your babies.
I know. So your art has a lot of colors. So.
Yeah.
So all right. So tell everybody about your art.
Well, how do I describe my art?
It's psychedelic.
Very psychedelic.
Psychedelic.
I live in a fantasy world, and I just try to share that with everybody. Gnomes ran my world when I was a little kid to the point that like I believed that they lived in the bottom of stoplights and would like ride to the top of them every day and like go behind the little stoplights and run the lights and stuff like that. And every time my mom would curse at the red light, I'd be like, darn those gnomes. And I just like slowly but surely learned how to illustrate what was going on in my head and like bring all those colors to life as much as I possibly could. And it's been a joyride ever since being able to share that with everybody else.
Yeah. Robbo says we look like we're having fun. We're definitely having fun.
Oh, yeah. Lots of fun.
Here comes a dog with little purple feet and a tutu.
The best little fake tutu
dog. Yeah. So, and most of our listeners, by the way, are on the radio, so we have to describe everything.
Totally fair.
But yes, big descriptions. So yes, you have a lot of mushrooms in your art and a lot of psychedelic colors, very very bright colors. Oh, there goes a purple dog, a bigger sort of mangy looking purple dog, but we won't judge.
Right.
So we don't judge.
My artwork looks a lot like maybe if Lisa Frank took maybe a trip to the 60s-ish.
Somebody roofied Lisa Frank, and
maybe a little. Took her to space once or twice.
Lisa Frank, don't leave your drink unguarded.
Unguarded around me.
Lisa Frank, it's like, I'll be right back. I'm going to go to the restroom. And came back and all of a sudden did some art.
Next thing we know, we have strange visitors.
So, and then, I picked up a bunch of cool stickers from you for my gift shop that has all the bats with all the queer flag colors and everything. So you have all the flags.
Yes.
So
my project each year has been to start a different type of animal with the queer flag and make them each instead of just like a cookie cutter stamp of each pride flag, like a lot of the stuff that I see where it's just like the same image, just a different flag. And I'm like, we're individuals, we need differences and stuff like that. And that's just my personal take on it.
Hold on, Robbo says he lost the sound. Robbo, you still have sound from us? Can you hear us okay? The problem with being on site is that sometimes can have some technical difficulties. Hopefully we have sound. I'm just checking. You keep talking and talk about your art while I check the sound.
Totally fair. One of the ones that I just finished was moths that I did, like as the joke Pride Moth instead of Pride Month. So I did all of the Pride moths, and then I'm starting Pride raccoons.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about the Pride raccoons.
They're very resemblant of like the Care Bear Cousins esque style or whatnot. Very fluffy and lovable, and keep them going. And you want to have something joyful and pleasant to look at, and keep that queer joy rolling.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So now you are. Do you? What do you? How are you? What are your pronouns? Do you identify as?
I go by she, her, they, them.
Okay, cool.
So I truly, from day to day, honestly, I could be described as a non-binary person. I'm a weird gremlin. Honestly,
Depends what you feel like.
If gremlin was a pronoun, that would be my pronoun.
That makes sense. Yeah. Did you hear the one about the non-binary gold prospector?
Mm-mm.
They found gold in them their hills. I love that joke. So I told my kids I identify as transparent. My pronouns are who, where. They're like, Mom, please stop talking. Just stop.
Just
so,
stop.
No, I'm a cool mom. So. But yeah, no, I live in Bellingham, where all that is very respected and very important, and I love that about where I live very much. So
totally understand.
So yay, our sound is back on. We're being heard. I feel so heard today. I feel so respected. And I love your glasses, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
They're so colorful.
I try to be a walking rainbow most days.
Yes, I can tell that by your skirt. So, what other shows do you do? Do you do a bunch of shows?
I do. I'm working towards doing bigger conventions and stuff like that, but I do a lot of like different art markets and stuff like that around here and stuff like that.
Okay.
Slowly, I'm working my way. I've been hiding under a rock for a very long time, and I'm generally a very
gremlin-y, yeah.
Very introverted person, and so I have the perfect partner to like slowly push me.
Sound introverted.
She pushes me out.
I'm not buying that you're introverted at all.
It's the mask. I could put one on real good.
Yeah, that's good. That's what happens when you get to a show. You have to kind of put that mask on and get out and just.
Yeah, well, and it's a little bit easier to interact at places like this because it's a lot more people that are like-minded and stuff like that. Where I know that if I'm going to bring my artwork out to conventions and things like that, I know that I'm not going to get dirty looks for my out of the box thinking.
Yeah, this show is very safe. If people do conventions, they have to understand that different conventions have different feelings.
Yes.
They feel different. This one is very, very safe space feeling. You can be yourself. You can dress any way you want. You can feel safe here, not feel threatened if anybody makes you feel uncomfortable. You can go to anyone who's running it and it will be handled appropriately, which is nice. So. Other conventions, you might not feel quite as safe, Mm-hmm. So, if you go to one show and have a bad experience, that's not representative of all shows.
Correct.
Find one that you like and then they can become your family. So
yeah,
definitely.
Exactly.
And this is very family-ish. That guy was just walked by carrying a body. Okay. I'm not gonna question. So we don't ask. So
don't ask. Don't
I don't think it was a real body. I hope not. Not the way the foot was. Not the way the foot was moving. So there's in the courtyard tonight. There's a fire show, mm-hmm. which is gonna be interesting because there's a bunch of snow on the ground. So
yeah, it should be really pretty with all the snow and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's super pretty.
It's one of the highlights of the show is the big fire display, mm-hmm. fire spitting, throwing.
I love being able to get to see it. I don't know that I'll be able to get to see it this year because some of my help has to go or whatnot. So I'm going to try and send my partner over to see it because I know she loves that kind of stuff too. So
and you're in the annex. This show's a little bit unique. It has the dealer hall, mm-hmm. which is cool. We've talked before about. I'm talking to the artist now. We talked mm-hmm. before about how art shows are set up. There's usually the art show and then the dealer hall, and this one's a little bit different. It says the dealer hall and then the art show, and then it has what's called the annex, which is, since it's run in a hotel, the annex is like a basically one wing of hotel rooms that they've taken the beds out of, or sometimes take the beds out of, and then people can actually rent the hotel rooms as these like little market places and vendors. And you're in the annex. The vendors can set up their own little shops.
Yeah, they send you a form about a week or two before how much of the furniture you want removed and stuff like that, and you get to decide.
Perfect for a goblin shop,
right?
So it's like this old timey village, and you just go down this hallway, and you're like in this old timey village, and there's like a person that sells like nothing but like taxidermied items. So like one room's full of skulls and furs, and one room's full of nothing but jewelry, and one room's full of like, beautiful, queer, awesome art with raccoons, and and one's got tarot readings, and one's got caffeinated marshmallows, which obviously I haven't had any of. No, I wouldn't. Why would you say that? No caffeinated marshmallows here. And but the annex though can open. You guys can open your doors and close them as you want. So you guys can stay open all the time if you wish, and you can stay 24/7. When the dealer hall closes, their hours are 10 to 8, or
they may have changed them. Last time I was down there, it was like 10 to 7 that they had the Saturday going, so that people could enjoy some of the shows and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
and the annex was like
the annex just does whatever it wants. Yeah. The annex. So you guys so basically, if you wanted to go watch the fire show, you just shut the door.
Annex is kind of just our anarchy.
It's anarchy, which is really cool. And I noticed it's growing around the corner this year, which
that's
is really
what they should name it. Instead of the vendor annex, they should
the vendor anarchy. So which is a really neat way to run a show, and it's just neat. So, and then of course there's the panels, which are all over the hotel. And there's parties, and they do. I notice after hour events tonight that are 18 plus. I think they have a hentai bingo tonight. Yeah, that looks just interesting. But I'm going to go to the panel on boudoir photo shoots, I think.
Oh, cool.
Because I think I can probably contribute to that, because I do a lot of.
I'm actually doing one next weekend.
You do
a boudoir photo shoot. Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I could contribute to that, because I do a lot of sexy pieces, and I thought, maybe I'll pop my head in and see if anybody has questions about.
Yeah, no, it's something I always wanted to do for myself, because I am obviously have always been the artist. I wanted to make myself the art for once.
Nice.
So
you're excited?
I am beyond excited.
Do you have special clothes to wear? Is it going to be nude, or is it going to be?
It's going to be a little bit of both, and it's going to be me and my partner. I'm so
excited. Oh, exciting! Exciting. So, did you have a photographer picked up?
Yes. She's very trustworthy. She does beautiful. Oh, I love her skirt. Sorry.
There's a beautiful costume that just walked by. That is.
Squirrel moment.
Is a
beautiful.
All right, so let's describe the costume. It's
Galaxy
Space Mage.
Galaxy
Space Mage with
rainbows
and
holographic and
blue hair, and we're on a podcast, by the way. Oh, gosh. So, and mostly it's radio, so we're describing. Hold on, I'll see if I can. For those on YouTube, you can take a look. And corset with lots of beautiful.
I even made the bags.
Gorgeous with beautiful planets. And there's boots with stars on them, shiny boot stars, and this is beautiful.
Take a picture.
And
amazing.
So gorgeous. So anyway, sorry we get distracted by the beautiful cosplay.
I am very big on the squirrel moments.
So what were we talking about? Oh, boudoir.
Yes.
So, how did you go about picking a photographer?
So we actually met kind of organically through friends and stuff like that. I found her website and stuff like that, and we have slowly been talking over the years. And we've known each other several years, and she's been trying to get me in her studio and stuff like that. And she finally was running a deal, and I finally had the money, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it.
Go. That's amazing. So I know a lot more people that are, getting boudoir photo shoots of them, and it can be a really positive experience, especially if you're doing it with your partner.
Well, and that's what I especially for myself and my body journey and stuff like that, because I have had such trouble with my body in general with chronic illness and my spine and having to basically relearn how to walk and stuff like that at certain points and stuff like that. It's a way of falling in love with my body again and learning to love me and this journey that I'm on.
Yeah. And you don't have to, and if you have a good photographer, or you don't have to wait till you're like at a perfect size or whatever. They work with the way you look and to make you look ideal.
And she does amazing plus size work.
Yeah. So, because there's definitely ways to sculpt a person to get to look perfect without diminishing who they are.
Correct.
Because you don't have to make somebody look all skin and bones to make them look beautiful.
Yeah, and you don't have to make them look Dumpty Dumpty to show that they're a larger individual.
No, I mean, I just did a commission for a painting for someone, and it was a surprise piece, and the mother-in-law was really excited because I had drawn the bride. And I painted her, and I had to change her outfit and everything. But the way I painted her, I guess she was really thrilled with, because I had not downsized her. I had given her the ample bosom, and I noticed that the woman was not small. I mean, she was not huge, but she was built a little bit like me. She was, but I specifically designed the outfit the way that I would design one of my outfits, so that it showed that she had a waist, but it also showed that she had good bosoms, and it showed her hips
tailored
the way that I would tailor my outfit to show off my assets. And, but not make me look the way I would, that it still showed off, basically I lit it so that it showed that I had my waist still, and it wouldn't, make me look like a big blob.
That's how I tend to do my human size drawings and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, you can light things so that it shows curves and ways, and you can cut patterns in ways that it emphasizes an hourglass, where maybe it's like a little bit of an optical illusion, but you can do a lot with optical illusion, that you draw the eye in certain ways that is pleasing,
I mean, art in general is about tricking the eye into believing that what they're seeing on the paper is real.
Yeah.
So, like, how far do you want to take it?
Like right now, what you're wearing a corset and cleavage, and you see the cleavage.
Yep.
And then your corset draws you in and then down. to the rainbows, which are vertical.
Yep.
And if you were horizontal, it would be wider. And instead it's vertical, so it goes vertical. See, it's all about leading the eye,
and gives me height.
And it gives you height. So same thing with art.
Yep.
Yeah, and you just lead the eye where you want it to lead. Same thing with boudoir photography. You lead the eye, and it's not misleading. It's just
redirecting.
It's just choosing where you want to bring your viewer.
Correct.
So all right. Let's see. Aiden, I completely understand that. My own body betrays me frequently. So.
I'm a zebra too.
You're what?
Ehlers-Danlos syndrome as well.
I don't know what that is.
It's
It sounds
an
familiar.
issue with the collagen in your body where it doesn't work properly, and so your joints will go out of place all the time, and your skin is far stretchier than it should be. And like there's just like 18 bajillion like comorbidities that go with it.
Okay.
Like
I've heard of it.
The reason I'm wearing my
knee brace
all the time.
Got it. Zebra. Why is it called
Zebras Unite? Well, because if you're standing in a pack of horses and you hear hoofbeats and stuff like that, and you're talking to the doctor and there's like, I hear hoofbeats. All I see is horses, but it could be a zebra.
Okay. I thought it had something to do with your lines of Blaschko, which are the individual lines. The individual lines that only cats can see, all right. So to explain, your body actually has lines on it that's
under UV light.
Under UV light, that humans can't see, and it's they're on your skin. Actually has patterns on it, and if you Google it, they're the lines of Blaschko, and you're actually patterned. Everybody's patterned a little bit different, which is kind of cool. But cats can see them, but we can't see them, and that's makes you look
find
like
that
a zebra.
Super unfair.
But my daughter Kat actually and my husband actually, you can see theirs in certain areas. My husband's around their hips, and my daughter has it under her arm. And I thought, when she was growing up, I thought, oh my God, I am the worst parent. I never washed this child properly. She always has dirt under her arm. What the fuck? Mom, clean your freaking child. And it turns out that it's just like literally a part of her lines of Blaschko. It looks like a birthmark.
Oh,
And
wow.
so if you have this like birthmark sort of smear that looks like you just have like a T mark, it's like it's one of the lines of Blasco that just happens to show up.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's kind of cool. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so she has it under her arm, and my husband has it on her hips.
Yeah, no,
So-
I learned about the lines of Blasco, and I was like, that is unfair.
So yeah, I know. I want to see the lines of Blasco.
I would like to see everybody's stripes, please.
Well, I'm gonna have to bring you over and show you my here. Kid, lift your arm up. We want to look at your lines of Blasco. So yeah. So it's the idea that you supposedly never see a rare condition as a doctor. So if you see symptoms that should fit a rare condition, you still shouldn't diagnose it. Yeah, that's infuriating. So
Yes.
yeah, it's really hard, especially nowadays, to diagnose stuff because doctors are
almost 40 and just now getting diagnosed with certain things that I should have been diagnosed with as a kid.
Yeah, it's really, really challenging, especially for artists, because a lot of artists we're neurodivergent. We don't.
It's pouring off of me in waves. Like how they didn't see the neurospicy coming. That's
I know
them.
and we end up. I think a lot of reason a lot of artists end up being neurospicy is because we don't fit in. We don't go with the flow. I mean,
well, and that's it. Art is how I learned to process my world. Like I had to go internally so often because I didn't understand the external world so many times that it became so much easier to continue processing through artwork and using my emotions to filter through and understand that way, and then presenting and being able to explain what was going on in the artwork and communicate with the world through that rather than myself per se. And it got easier and easier and easier to do it that way than just perceiving the world all by myself.
And that's how a lot of artists have to process it. I mean, it's either that or drinking and drugs. I mean, everybody who's neurospicy has to figure out a way to process it. And
exactly.
Hey, we're neurospicy. We're doing a podcast right now. We're talking about artists being neurospicy. So, but yeah, so, but
I was mentioning to other people that I heard from a friend of mine online.
We're on a podcast, so
yeah. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. We'll talk about it in a bit. Sorry. But yeah, so we're but so yeah, so we've got lots of people walking by in the hallway that are interesting. What are those? I don't even know what those characters are.
Extremely rare conditions. It took until my mid-30s to get all diagnosed, and for me, it's writing, tablet gaming, and also drugs.
Writing, tablet gaming, and drugs. Okay, that works. So,
Fair.
Yeah. So, but yeah, artists. We even in the past, if you look at artists in the past,
seriously. Prior to having my daughter, my daughter is honestly the reason I was able to stop where I was with drugs and stuff like that. She's the reason I was able to get clean and things like that. And honestly, able to start mentally being like, you know what, I could make this into a business. I could start going down a better path with everything.
Yeah, I never really got into drugs.
I mean, it wasn't super hard drugs, but it was enough to make me wake up and rethink my life.
Yeah, I did marijuana once or twice in college, and I went in the morning. I couldn't think straight, and I remember thinking, oh God, I have too few brain cells as it is. I don't need to lose any more. And so I didn't like that thought because I've always been a very dedicated, business oriented artist. I knew I wanted to succeed as an artist, and so I was like, no, I don't. That's going to interfere with me succeeding as an artist. And so I was like, no.
I wanted to succeed as an artist, but I mentally lacked the know-how to really dig in and start figuring out how to get in there and going about things and stuff like that. And so I truly floundered for a very long time.
No. Yeah, no, I was very aggressive from the beginning. I was like, nope, I'm going to be a successful artist. And I just jumped in and was like, this is the way it's going to be. So,
totally fair.
Yeah, which is why I'm a successful artist, because I just sort of was like, the world will bend to my will. So, and that's kind of, now I kind of look back and I was like, wow, kind of ballsy at the beginning with Jesus.
But hey, you look where you're at now.
I know. It's just like, damn. But I didn't. But I stayed away from drugs because I knew it would interfere with my my ability to do that.
Totally. Because
I was like, no, I'm not going to let that. I didn't party in school at all because I didn't want to get distracted. And I didn't even play video games in school.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my plan was always, when I got older, to play video games, and now I play video games because that was always my plan, was to put it off and play when I got old.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm gonna play video games.
Use it as a relaxation.
When I get old, I'll play all the video games I never played in college.
Totally understandable.
Cannabis. Why? Am I supposed to say cannabis? Did I say pot? I say Mary Jane.
I think you said marijuana.
Marijuana. I'm not supposed to say marijuana. I'm supposed to say cannabis. Mary Jane or whatever the kids are saying nowadays. I don't know.
To use?
I guess there's a specific term.
Maybe.
I'm uncool. I don't know these things.
I am truly uncool too.
I'm supposed to say cannabis. I don't know.
Right.
I do not partake. I mean, I'm weed friendly. I guess I just don't. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I lose time, and I like to have control of time.
No, and totally understandable.
And I don't know. I'm too much of a. Yeah, I like control of my art and control of.
You like to be able to flow freely with where you're at in time and where it's going.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess I'm a business minded artist. I want to be successful as an artist.
I'm a creative minded.
Yeah, I guess whatever. That's good too, though. So I can tell that by the psychedelic art. No, they were correcting themselves.
Oh, okay.
So that's okay. So I don't know. I always get those things wrong. So all right. So let's back to what we were talking about. We were talking about art.
A lot of things.
Yeah. So you're local here, and
born and raised.
And then, did you go to art school or?
I did not go to art school. I took some art in high school, and then I did a couple drawing classes in a little bit of college that I took, and then the rest has been self-taught.
Cool. Oh, and I didn't ask, where can people find your art online?
They can find it at my website, jamiewaltonart.com.
That's JAMIEWALTON.com.
Correct.
Okay, just for everyone on the radio.
Yes.
Just to make sure that it's spelled right. So.
And then for Facebook, it's www.facebook.com/Jamie Walton Art.
Okay.
And Instagram, it's at jamie.walton.art. And it should be TikTok, it should be at Jamie Walton Art.
Wow, that is a huge skirt that just went by.
Wow.
Oh, that is an impressive amount of skirt.
Yes, it is.
And you have a beautiful tail.
Right.
I'm talking about her tail, not her butt.
Looks like it's a tiefling.
Yay. And no AI, obviously.
No.
So.
Lord, I rant about it all the time to my partner, to be honest.
We are at RadCon, RADCON, in Pasco, Washington, which is the Tri-Cities area. And I didn't find out till like my third year here that actually stands for Radiation Con, right?
Yep.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like rad, cool, man.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that for like 3 years. And it's like numbered. It's like the way that RadCon's numbered is weird. It's
by, I believe, the leap year.
It's by the leap year or something.
Yeah.
So but it's a really cool, different con. I like this con.
Yeah, it's a fun little convention. It's quirky. It's very family oriented.
I love that when I get here, everyone's like, "Hey, hey." But of course, like my first year when I was the guest of honor, I had all these extra tarot decks, like tons and tons and tons of color your own extra tarot decks. So I put them in like all of the gift bags for everybody, and so like everybody thinks I'm like awesome now because they all have like merch. So I'm like, so people are like, just they just like, as soon as I show up here, they're like, "Hey, you want stuff?" And they just keep like giving me things. So it's really funny. So it's kind of good, it's kind of good to bribe people. So bribery is a good thing.
I totally understand that.
So the first thing I did was bribe the minions.
Hey, I bribe my workers all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. So you love RadCon? You've been to RadCon?
Yes.
Oh, the numbering system is based on leap years because the first one was on a leap day. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I have been going to RadCon since I was a kid, coming as a convention goer, coming to see people like Patricia Briggs when she was doing panels about her books and stuff like that. And then now it's getting to come see the art show when I was in school and stuff like that. And then getting to be on the other side of it as a vendor now is just probably the coolest thing ever.
There's a lot of kids here.
Yes,
but very good involved kids, not like screaming annoying kids. They're just they're like growing up with it the way you did, which is cool. They're very involved with it, and they do a lot of trinket trading, which is neat. A lot of
the trinket trading is so fun.
Yeah, so you got to carry trinkets with you because they like to trade things.
Yes.
So trinket trading's a neat thing that has been happening a lot, where they just come up and they have like a bead or a bracelet. I have this hemp bracelet that one of the minions gave me, and they give you something and you give them something in return. Mm-hmm. And like a bead or a bracelet or a pin or a button or something.
I got a little bell the other day.
You got a bell the other day or something, and it's really cool. It's very medieval. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I love the costumes going by. We're like in the best. This is the best
so
spot.
Fun to see.
I know. We're just on this random couch in this hallway, and there's wizards and warriors and
anime characters,
and somebody that just walked by with about 15 lasagnas.
Right.
And I was like, "Ooh, that looks good."
Is that my dinner?
Yeah, I know. and there's the
tiefling.
The tiefling. Yeah. And yeah, so no, this is one of my favorite conventions. Yeah, I go to. So do you travel to other conventions?
I am attempting to get into other conventions, but a lot of the other conventions, especially around in Washington, are the huge conventions. So they have giant wait lists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm on the wait list for a lot of them, and I fingers crossed that eventually I'll be off the wait list and get to go to them. But I do travel and I do other events and stuff like that and have all kinds of fun. So, but hopefully more big conventions too.
Yeah. One of these days, I'd love to see what my new home would inspire in your mind, Echo. I'm in the process of moving to Malta. Ooh, Malta. I think a lot of the area would fit perfectly with your art. You're moving to Malta. Wow, that's random. They have bees in Malta that are only live in Malta, don't they?
Aren't they the blue ones?
I don't know. I just remember there's bees that only live.
No, those are Australian.
They only live in Malta. That they don't let them out of Malta. They're very protective of their Maltese bees. I remember. I read about that for a Shadowrun character. You learn a lot, researching for Shadowrun campaigns. So. Yeah. So
that was a fun game, by the way.
Yeah, I still play Shadowrun. I have a lot of artwork I do for the role-playing game Shadowrun. So, yeah, the country is named after the Greek word for honey. So, yeah, you learned a lot when you're researching for role-playing games and for artwork and stuff. And
oh yeah, especially my Zodiac series that I just did. The different pieces that are going into it. I'm researching and stuff like that. People just look at it that's pretty, and did you know
you learn so many I'm probably on so many watch lists from my search history, right. I mean the things you have to search to find things, especially for the Shadowrun artwork, it's what does this bomb look like? Oh wow, I'm on so many government watch lists now. No, I just need to know what dynamite looks like so I can draw it. Really, I don't need to know what's in it. I just need to know what it looks like.
They probably have a watch list named the day the artist detonate.
Yeah, I know. But what does C4 look like when applied on the door? And I just need to know what it looks like correctly so that, I'm not trying to apply it. I just
want to know what it looks like.
I just need to just trying to draw it, man. Just trying to draw it. So,
I don't physically have it on me.
Yeah. I don't have it. I don't want to order it. I'm not looking to order it. So I once tried to find. All right. So I once went. This is a funny story. I once went to try to order a tea that they weren't making anymore. And it was an orange cream tea that I really, really liked. And it sounds like a random story that's going off the tracks, right? But I was like, oh, they don't make my tea. And I'm looking and looking and looking. And I was like, I have to buy up the tea because they don't make it up. And I was really disappointed. And I ended up at an arms site where they could buy guns.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, I'm like, oh, I can click here, buy my tea. And they're like, there's this lists of guns I could buy. And I'm like, who the hell did I get from orange cream tea to buying guns? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
what?
You had one thing.
I was just looking for orange cream tea, and now I can buy guns.
But by the way, what bullets does it come with?
No, I no. Yeah, and it was like legitimately looking because it was not. It was like one of those sites that was bad enough designed that you're like, that's got to be real.
See me, I was looking up some rope tying stuff, and then Google was like, "Are you sad? Here's some like depression stuff," and I'm like,
"You look like you're trying to kill yourself. How can I help you with that?"
I'm not trying to die.
No, I'm not trying to kill myself. I just need to know how to tie this rope. It's like, no, I wasn't looking up gunpowder tea. Gunpowder is a type of tea. I was looking up orange cream tea, not gunpowder tea.
How does oleander tea taste?
Yes, how does oleander tea taste? You know,
what does the face you make look like?
Yesterday I came upon an article about the old Chinese teapots where you could poison your enemy by putting your finger over a certain hole.
Oh,
you ever see those?
Yeah.
There's apparently this old Chinese.
It releases the.
Yeah, there's a certain hole, and you could pour and there's holes in it, and you pour the tea, and then you put your finger over a hole, and it comes from like a different hole, a different chamber in the teapot, so you could look like you're pouring totally innocent tea, and you could totally poison somebody else at the table. You know, and this is how you end up on watch lists. You know, you're like, how can I find out the Chinese poisoning teapot?
It's because of the fun facts that exist up here.
I know, you get in on a rabbit hole, and you know, then you start getting advertisements for things, and you're like, and you know,
and next thing you know,
you're on watch list. Yeah, so slightly bitter. Don't ask you how you know that. How do you know that? How do you know that oleander tastes slightly better? Don't eat oleander. Oleander is poisonous. You don't want to have any sort of oleander. Actually, if oleander leaves and flowers drop in a puddle, apparently, and a cow drinks from that puddle, the milk can be poisonous. I learned that. There were oleander in Florida, so I did research on that. Yeah.
So then that would be like the poisonous milkmaid. Can you imagine the piece that would come from
the poisonous milk? Yeah, the poisonous milkmaid. Oh, mad honey. Have you ever looked at mad honey? That's from the rhododendron plant, I think. There's a certain time of year that honey is harvested with the bees. The bees, I think it's from the rhododendron plant. The bees harvest the honey from the rhododendron plant, and that's the honey that if we eat it, it makes you it can kill you, but it also kind of makes you high and stuff like that before it, kills you and stuff.
I've never heard of that.
Well, that's the time of year that they leave the honey for the bees. Because the bees can eat it just fine, but but it is not good for people to eat.
Yeah.
And that's when the rhododendrons are in bloom, and that's the mad honey. You don't want to eat that honey. So there's certain times of year and certain flowers that doesn't translate well. So look up mad honey.
Gonna know.
Yeah, because it's kind of cool. I mean, don't
one more watch list. Why not?
Yeah, sure. What? Yeah, you're not on the mad honey watch list. Add yourself to it. So, but I think one of the things about being an artist is research. I think it's fascinating to learn all these different.
Oh my god, it is ridiculously fascinating. Like even for like the stupid thing, like I took the Monty Python. Your father smells of elderberry.
Yeah.
And made a little like button of it. The bird on it is a cedar waxwing.
Yeah.
It's in most of its diet is elderberries.
Oh. Well, yeah, see? I mean,
just fun facts like that. Just
you need
the serotonin.
Well, it's those little details that make the art that much better.
Right.
I mean, like in the piece where I have the woman with the tortoise and he's coming across the room towards the woman.
Yep.
I mean, the flowers that are behind her, I had to, if I'm going to put flowers in there, I have to put flowers that the tortoise eats. So I had to figure out what what flowers are the tortoise's favorite flowers to eat. You can't just throw some random flowers in there. Dessert is coming our way. Now we have lots of.
Okay, you brought lasagna. Now,
well, what are they?
300 cookies and 300 scones.
And you didn't. This is a toll booth. This is a toll booth.
The toll is at the tea. You have to come drink tea and have free.
But we're doing a podcast, so but you bring us cookies. Oh, there's a tea apparently going on.
Okay, bye. I love you.
We love you, but not that much. Hello. All right, we tried to guilt them into bringing us cupcakes.
Didn't work.
Apparently, there's a tea going on, and Anyway, so this is the fun of conventions. If you haven't gone to any fun conventions, you really ought to.
Missing out.
So you're missing out because it is weird, and there's people of all different ages, and all different types and identities, and
all of us.
Yeah.
Blend and have fun.
And, being weird and strange, and there are some
make it our weird little bubble.
Very strange people. and people don't judge. They just they're just like, sometimes they're like, okay, but it's accepting.
We understand that there's a couple of rooms that you avoid by the end of the weekend.
Do shower, please. Just
right.
Like, it is, we accept, but just do shower, please. Try to do that.
It's the best.
It is, yeah. I mean, we accept, but please try.
It'd be cool if we could go in all the rooms on the weekend.
Yeah. But we don't judge. We just avoid. So, rhododendron honey is potentially fatal, as is almond honey if consumed in too large a quantity.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know about almond honey. But basically during that time of when the bees are eating or harvesting from the rhododendrons, they just avoid, because they just avoid harvesting the honey then, and that's what the bees eat during the winter. Oh, did you, Aiden? Did you read the article about all of those bees? The beehives that they just found, that there was the volcano that just happened. The volcano that just exploded not too long ago, or erupted, I guess, and buried all of the beehives, and they all got buried under the hot ash for like 20 days or something. And then finally the beekeeper came back and dug them out, and they figured all the bees were going to be dead, but they had like cemented themselves inside their hives, and they were still, I think most of them except for like 2 of them were still alive.
Wow.
And they had basically just sealed off their hives, and then they were fine.
Now I definitely need.
And based on how long bees live, they'd gone through like several generations of bees, like just living within the hive. Look it up; it's really cool. It didn't happen that long ago. It just happened.
Yeah.
So cannabis is not a drug; it's a natural herbal medicine provided by God Himself that personally helps myself with my liver, lung cancer. Oh no, cannabis is fine. My older daughter, she has found that she does CBD and THC. She found one that works for her really well. She doesn't like too much THC because it doesn't like the way it makes her feel. But the CBD blend is just amazing for her anxiety, and it works better than anything. They kept trying to give her Xanax and other things, and she finally found that these gummies with the CBD, they work just naturally, perfecely. They are they're better. She won't do Xanax or anything anymore. They're just natural and perfect. And she doesn't, she just uses them as needed, and they're natural and great.
Yeah.
So I'm not anti-drug. I don't like THC too much because I don't like the way it makes me feel, but I'm not against it.
Totally understandable.
I actually did work for a cannabis company. I had all the edibles I wanted. They're like, oh yeah, you can have all the edibles you want. I'm like, great, that's a waste. I just don't like, I like to have control of my time and stuff, and so I
keep track of things.
Yeah, so that's just a me thing. So. The La Palma eruption. Yes, that was cool. Look that up.
Okay.
But the bees had been buried, and they basically they used their. It wasn't the wax. It was something else. They sealed everything off, and so that they were completely sealed from all the poisonous gases and everything. In like an emergency seal off situation, and they lived, and even through a couple of generations of the bees had died because they don't live as long as the time they were sealed away. They were still, they dug them out and they were still alive. Wow. It was cool. The beekeepers like, holy cow. So 50 days. They lived for 50 days.
Makes you wonder, like, if there's beehives just buried down there.
Yeah. 50 days they were buried under the ash. Isn't that's just crazy.
Fascinating.
So yeah. They lived off their own honey, having sealed the hive with a mixture of honey, wax, and their own dead. So,
I mean, that's smart.
Hey, they did it. Well, I don't think they would have lasted forever, but but were they able to dig tunnels out to get out? I mean, or were they just waiting? I mean, they would have had to wait till the ash cooled down, I think, because they can't.
Most likely.
I wonder if they would have been able to
tunneling through.
I wonder if they would have been able to excavate their way out. I wonder if they showed if they had any way, if they had any evidence that they were digging. I mean, they would have probably been digging their way out. Have to look into that. I mean, just like anything, they're trying to survive. So
yeah.
But I think two of them, they were in the process of tunneling when they were found. So they were tunneling.
Okay.
But I think a couple of the hives didn't make it, but most of them did. So it was good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's just But I think it's important as an artist to do a lot of research.
Very important.
And to be open-minded about stuff, personally.
Very, very open-minded. I tend to come about it, especially when you're researching. If you come across information that's confronting your beliefs, be open-minded about it. Set your ego aside for a second, especially if it's confronting somebody else's culture. Listen for a second, bring it in, and then absorb how you can use it in your art and be effective without bastardizing, basically.
And it's neat to look at other people's art and see how their beliefs are interpreted in their art too.
Yep.
Because that shows up in their art, and it's neat to look at art and see how their interpretations come through. So, which is really just cool.
Very much so.
Yeah. So
I adore it.
That's why art history is so important. I just love learning about art history.
Oh yeah, no, going through the museums and going through all the old pieces and picking out like this lamp means this lamp means this, and then actually like my favorite one is going through museums and pointing out all the lemons. Be like, you know what, he was just trying to one up. Right. That's just a one up, right?
Yep. I just read that the Getty archives or the Getty Museum just opened up all of their art so that you can now download and use it for free too.
Oh, that's
cool. Because the Smithsonian did.
That's awesome.
Yes, you can go into the Smithsonian and use all of their art now in archives and use and download whatever assets you need as part of
that's super cool.
Because it's open copyright. Open source. But awesome. the Getty just did as well. So now you can do that. So which is kind of cool. So
that's truly cool.
Echo, I wonder if you realize that you're listed as a YouTube children account. This means when we who subscribe to you cannot turn on notifications when you go live. Huh? I didn't know that. I will check it out. And I don't know why I'm listed as a YouTube children account. That is really strange, but I'll definitely. That is really not probably correct.
Really not.
No, definitely not me. I will figure out what's going on with that. Thank you for letting me know. I will. I'll look into that right away. So, but it doesn't let you know when to go live, huh?
That's weird.
But I'm also on Facebook. Facebook Live should let you know when I go live. But I'll check that out. And you can also watch the past episodes on YouTube. So, but yeah, it looks like we're almost out of time.
Awesome.
I guess we're gonna have to go back to our booth and do some work.
Oh no.
So yeah, your work is at Jamie Walton.
JamieWaltonArt.com.
And Aiden says that UNESCO World Heritage sites are also a great artistic resource. There's lots of gorgeous images available there.
Awesome. So, I'll have to remember that. Thank you.
Yeah, so there's lots of good stuff.
Awesome.
Yes, so hopefully you guys all enjoyed our crazy rambling nonsensical fun podcast of randomness today.
Right.
So is there anything else you want to add? You said you had a coloring book coming up.
I do. I have a coloring book that I just have a couple images to finish. It's body positive. It's also gender positive. It's got male to female and female to male transition people modeling in it.
And where can people find that?
They can pre-order it on my website now.
Awesome.
It's called Celestial Bodies.
That's fantastic. So JamieWalton.com, and that's where they can pre-order it.
Yes.
So awesome. So
Awesome.
yes,
Thank you.
that is important. Anything else you want to pitch?
I think that's it.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for joining us. You've been listening to The Professional Artist on United Public Radio 107.7, and make sure to subscribe and like on YouTube/Echo Chernik. And we will talk to you guys all next week. So take care. Bye.
Bye.